What's up, everybody? Thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 8 of Who's Together podcast. I am Lauren.
I'm Quinn.
You already know we are here. Joined today. Don't have much of an agenda, just, planning to talk from the heart about our past week. Past week that has been impacting a lot of people in Charlottesville, a lot of people on the football team. I'm sure you know, but the University of Virginia football team lost 3 members last Sunday. Lavel Davis Jr., Deshaun Perry, Devin Chandler. And we are, going through it with them. Obviously, Quinn was a part of the UVA football team, class of 2018. So, before we even start, just want to send our condolences to their families, their parents, their siblings, cousins, their teammates, coaches, classmates, everyone that knew them and had the chance to really just be in their presence and feel the light that so many people speak of. Obviously, the memorial just took place over this weekend. So a lot of stories shared during that. But first, just want to do check-in with my brother Quinn. I can't imagine what you're feeling. So I would love to just start there and talk to you about how you're feeling and how your healing process is.
Yeah, to go on that, and also to those who are on the bus as well.
Yeah.
The teacher, of course, that was on that bus, Lady T, who's an amazing professor at UVA, and so to those people as well, we don't shy away from you guys either.
Yeah.
You guys are in our hearts as well.
Yeah.
Mike, I know you're fighting over there. You're walking again, and you're getting yourself back together. So, I can't wait to see you back on the field. Soon. But for those that just happen to be there, it's a tragedy.
Yeah.
But and we're with you guys as well because I know it's going to be tough. But for me, today was actually a lot better.
Yeah.
Watching that memorial yesterday, I think was good. I couldn't get down to Charlottesville. I've been traveling so much already as is, and I just couldn't make it down there. But
Mm-hmm.
I did get the chance to watch it live, and it was good. And I think that's what I kind of needed.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with the first to market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including MLB, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game bets, props, and futures. Head over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.
So each day has been getting better. Today was a lot better. I watched church this morning, so it really helps.
Yeah.
But overall, I just think it's just like a sad situation that like no one can prepare you for any of this. But it was touching yesterday. It was.
Yeah.
But I
It was
think,
beautiful. It was done so
but
well. Just the people that came, people that spoke, the
yeah, I think
strength.
that's the most important part is hearing the stories about.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, like all you see on Twitter is, of course, 3 UVA students passed, but it's just like hearing people tell their stories from, especially guys that are on the team, like those stories will be forever be told. Just even if they were still here, some of those stories is just like
Yeah.
you're going to tell each other 10, 20 years from now, those same stories we had. And
Yeah.
it's just like, I remember that. But just to hear them tell the stories and just embody what the human of these people were, I think that's the most important thing that happened on Saturday was just them living as humans. Like,
Mm-hmm.
forget football player, forget any of that. They were humans. And I think that's what was so important about it. Cause, we just keep saying, football players, but it's just they were humans. They
Yeah.
were they were sons, they were loved ones, friends. And it was good just to see everyone in the community there. I think
Mhm.
that shows, even though like I know they kept showing how Lavel said, I'm gonna change the way, the world one day. I think all three of them just changed everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like even at different universities, and of course, like I'm going to shout out Virginia Tech for instance, just because like everyone knows it's a rivalry, but it's just they took it out of the rival at the moment. It just said we're supporting you guys,
Yeah.
and it just was cool to see Liberty and Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech wore orange, Liberty wore blue, and it's just stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what, like that's what makes this sport so like amazing. That's what sports
That's what
does
sports
for
is.
people.
It brings
Like
people together,
it brings
people from
people together.
different backgrounds, different races, brings them together. And I think the outpour of support and love that
Yeah,
like you're talking about from Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, one of the first schools to really do something big because that night
yeah.
they had, or Monday night, they had the women's basketball team had a
Basketball.
game, and their supporting staff put 4 hours to the
Yeah,
side. Whatever they usually do before a game, they put that to the side and they created shirts with
yeah,
hashtag Hokies for Who's. And that was just a huge message because you talked about it. Our rivalry is strong, no matter what tragedy happens. And, we're always support each other. But when we're on the field or we're on the court, on the track,
yeah,
we're going for each other's necks. And so I thought that the love from that first instance all the way to the following up Virginia Tech, Liberty, JMU, all the Virginia schools, all
yeah,
the ACC schools, even. I saw Pac-12 they put orange marker or orange color on the 141 and
yeah.
15-yard line. It's big because, I think to add on to that, another reason why we see that support, the biggest reason is because we are all brothers and sisters. We
Yeah.
look aside each other when we're on these teams, and we can't imagine
Yeah.
our losing our brother and sister or teammate in the way that UVA football did. And it's just tragic. It's unnecessary. And it's gonna take a while to heal. But if there's anything I know about the University of Virginia, that community is strongest I might have ever been a part of.
Nah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, but even to go back before we even touch on that, I mean, it got to the point it reached everywhere. It got into the
yeah.
NFL. It got into teams wearing patches in the NFL. I've seen guys that I played against wearing Virginia gear to, the away games or their trips for, to go onto the plane or, walking into a stadium, seeing the head coach from the Jets wearing a Virginia shirt in their press conference. I've seen our old coaching staff like had the
Mhm.
opportunity to wear Virginia gear, even at their game, to wear
Mhm.
Virginia gear on the sideline for one last time again. That right there just speaks volume of what a sport can do and how people, respond to stuff like that. So that's amazing. But to go on to the part of, we've as a community in Charlottesville been through so much as is. I know we got there a little late in the year, well, previous years before when one of the lacrosse players,
Mhm.
um, did what
Really
he
love.
did, yeah, and did what he did and took a life there. And
Mhm.
so, we got the tail end of that. And then we happened to get, into a period with Hannah Graham.
Freshman
Um,
year.
Yep, and then we had that. Then we were there with the KKK rallies,
Yeah.
the downtown incidents that happened.
And
The
even
march.
before that we had another incident with Rolling Stone,
Oh, the Rolling
Rolling
Stones as
Stone
well.
article, um,
Yeah,
with sexual assault and things like that on our campus. But yeah, I feel like, we got to see how the community responded during those incidents. And unfortunately, it seemed like something happened every single year we were there. But it, what, I'm gonna take it back because sorry, y'all listening, this podcast
yeah.
might be all over the place because it's so much and it's like
So much.
unfathomable. But like, When I think about when I was watching the vigil on Monday and they were on the lawn,
Yeah,
um, I think that was Monday night. Yeah. So the
Monday night.
students put that together and watching it, and, obviously still in shock, number one.
Yeah,
Two, it was like anger because I just remember all the vigils. And I say all because I feel like one is too many, but like we were a part of two vigils. Hannah Graham's vigil, we were part of Heather Meyer's vigil, who was killed during the KKK rally, the Unite the Right rally. And like having to be a part or getting to be a part of those vigils, or I don't even know the right terminology for that, like that felt like, dang. And having
yeah,
to watch that vigil and not even really watch, but just see pictures, it was
yeah,
just like, why do we keep having to endure this type of pain as a community? Why do these families who send their children to the best institution in the country have to deal with the repercussions of burying their children? Like, and
yeah,
so that vigil was just, I was angry because I just feel like, how many times do we have to do this? But again, we get the response, we get the support, we get, we lean on each other. We have a 5K run,
yeah.
led by the students yet again. We have the president, Jim Ryan, doing his best to lead in a time of grief. And it's just like, I thank God for the community. Um, but it's hard to continue to see the same events happen after something like so tragic happens, and just kind of sitting in it. But I do agree that the memorial on Saturday was the first part for me where I felt at peace for you, at peace for my friends on the women's basketball team who are very close with them. Um, I felt like that being at or seeing that memorial for them and for you would truly start the healing process. So,
No,
yeah.
yeah. I just think, it just sucks. Just because it's like at the end of the day, it's kids being taken away from their families. Like
Yeah.
it's the word kid that throws me off to left. Like, yeah, I mean,
20 years old,
and
22 years
yeah,
old, man.
like at the end of the day, like I'm still a kid technically, like to my family. Like I'm a kid.
Mm,
Like losing a kid is just like why, how.
yeah.
But I learned, at first, like the first couple of days, it was just a bunch of why, like why this, why that. Like I did, and it just was like I wasn't getting no better. But then I stopped asking why, and I just started just to say, you know what, I it's a plan, and I know people don't want to hear that just because it's like it sucks.
Yeah.
Though, like the purpose and the plan that like God has in place, it's just
Yeah.
like we just gotta follow. Like,
Yeah.
and I know it sucks because it's a tragedy, but
Yeah.
that's how I found peace. And to those families, like I'm
Yeah.
there, I'm here, um, and I promise I won't let their names die for sure,
Yeah.
just because there were three very impactful people, not just to the football team, but just like
In
to
life.
people in general. Like they were
Yeah.
just a great presence to be around. I mean, I didn't have the opportunity to spend a lot of time with Devin or Deshaun that much, but I spent a lot with Lavel, and just to see his growth, like it's just amazing how much someone can change in their life after they focus on the right things and
Mm,
start getting themselves and start to feel like themselves again. And it's evident, but
yeah.
it's one of those tough things. But I mean, as a community, we're strong.
Yeah.
Like, we go to one of the best universities around, but it's just tough just because, like you said, I mean it. But the thing is, like, I don't want people to think, oh, it just only happens here. Like it happens everywhere, and that's the problem that we got to address too. Is that
Yeah.
one, we have to do something to like to these laws of guns. Like I'm not saying like, everyone has the right, to the amendments. Everyone has their rights.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's getting out of hand how easy we can assess like to get these things. Like
Mhm.
there should be no reason that we can have this much control over just getting,
And
you know,
certain types, like certain
yeah,
types, like there should be no reason why 18-year-olds can go and get semi-automatic
at
weapons.
this, like, I get it. Yes, I know it's in, in our amendments. I get it. It's your right as, an American, but it's just like, it just doesn't make sense to me anymore. Like, we're able to just go get this and that. And I'm just like, we're not going to make this a political battle because that's not what we're here for. But it's just like, something has to change because I mean it's kids all over the world
Yeah.
dying of guns, and it's whether it's and it just has nothing to do with race either. It's just what it is right now. It's people are killing people with guns, like
At an alarming rate.
at an alarming
Who
rate.
live people who are living various lifestyles, like you said, no race involved. Like we're seeing it across the board at the most ridiculous rate. I mean, literally since this incident has happened, obviously, well, I don't know, obviously, but it may or may not know, but that same day, 4 people were murdered at the University of Idaho.
Yeah,
Since those, we just had a shooting at a gay club last
last
night
night. Yeah,
where I believe 5 people were killed, about 18 injured.
yeah, something crazy. But it's just like,
Um,
ah, it's just like something has to change.
and
Like,
then since then, New Mexico State
yeah, it's
had a shooting as well that involved another athlete.
yeah. It's getting out of hand at
And
the
beyond the gun laws, we need to push mental health like
yeah
it is our second job. Like, and I say our as in, the people who have influence, especially at these universities, at schools, high school, middle school, elementary. Um, it needs to be a conversation
yeah, I think so.
often and early. And I think if it starts early, because unfortunately it's not a part of a lot of people's lifestyles and their families and the way that they were raised, especially, African American and minorities in general. We're not really told to go get help to talk about what's happening inside your head. But it's extremely important. And I feel like if school is going to be that first place where somebody hears about it, why not go sit down and talk to someone and just ask questions and tell, as a student, as a professor, as a security officer at the school, if you're not feeling right in the head, like, just go ask questions. Why am I feeling this way? I've been feeling this way. I don't know why I'm so angry. I don't know why I'm so sad. I don't know why I'm so confused, or I don't know what I'm feeling. Sometimes it's okay not to know what it is exactly that you're feeling. And I feel like it sucks because I feel like we're not as connected in these communities anymore. I feel like there's subgroups on campuses. There's obviously all these subgroups and all these sub communities, but I feel like it takes something tragic
To do that.
for us to seek out connectedness or connection.
Yeah,
So that's really
but
upsetting.
but it's mainly geared towards like things like this. Like,
Oh, for sure.
it's
On social media, we're
them sort of-
overstimulated. We're over.
it is, yeah, but it's the truth. Like, we're getting to the point where that runs our world, that runs our lives, and if it's not there, it's just like, what next do I have? And so it, that has no correlation. Well, it has all the correlations to why humans don't like interacting with humans. Like,
Mhm.
kids rather will stay, say, oh, I'd rather just text them or talk to them online
Yeah.
than go in person.
Hmm.
Like just be in person with these people. Like, I get it, but it's also us as adults that are enabling, kids, the people under us, because they see us do it. They
Hmm.
feel like it's okay for them to do it as well. And so,
Yeah.
everything is gonna, change at some point. But I mean, it starts with like people like us, vouching for it and doing things. And like, I've been working on trying to figure stuff out at UVA to get things done.
Yeah.
Um, it's just, I do get busy because I'm working I'm working nonstop.
Yeah.
I know
And
you're
it's
working.
not, and I know, and it's not on one person. It's not
Yeah,
on a group of 10 people. It's going to take a collective group. It's going to take a collective, like, over time as well. So So I also don't want you to feel pressure.
Oh no, no, that's not the pressure part. I just think that's just something, something that has to be done in that sense because I just think, like, because I remember when we went to school, I feel like it was always something we were doing to be connected with somebody, with some group of people.
I see what you're
I,
saying.
like, you know what I mean? It was just like, even if we were on our phones, it was just like we all came together at this point to just like
Hmm.
be together. Like
Hmm.
whether it was for a sport or whether it's just a night out or something. It's just like I just remember like me and Donnie used to just throw parties at the house, like at the at Copley, and like everyone just came over, like
Yeah.
regardless if we knew you or not, like you were just welcome in the door. Like
Yeah.
that's what it was for us. Like
Yeah.
we didn't care. Like we come on, like let's just have fun and like
Mm.
enjoy each other's time and like whether it's just like someone laughing or joking or people dancing, vibing to music or whatever we were doing, like it felt right to do it. Like I'm not saying they're not doing it now, but
Yeah.
I just feel like that disconnect is happening where it's just so much, social media based, phone based, and it's not really too much going on where like I feel like we was having parties left and right out there.
And I mean, and a big part of that also is COVID, right? Like we were
Well,
all
yeah,
stuck in a house
yeah,
for a year, or a little bit over a year. And I think that we have to do a little bit of unlearning at this point because even dating went to online. Like
yeah,
everybody was like started online dating during the pandemic because you're not going out and meeting people in the same ways, making
yeah,
friends. They have Bumble for friends. Like you're making friends on these apps now. And it's like, times are definitely different. I do think we need to figure out ways in whatever community you're a part of to connect with one another on a level that is beyond posting about on social media. Um, and if anything, we talked you talk a little bit about there being a bigger God has a plan, God's purpose is
yeah,
bigger than whatever we can imagine for ourselves. And although this was a very, very, very tragic incident, as well as the various across the country over the past several years now, the thing that I always go back to is, thank God there's a place better than this place that we are
uh,
on. And I
absolutely,
truly, truly, truly believe that Devin, Lavel, and Deshawn are there smiling down, shining their light on those that love them and care for them and those who are grieving them right now. And I think that if we continue to focus on that, focus on who they are, who they were, the lives that they touched and the way that they impacted, an entire community, an entire nation. They impacted the entire country.
yeah,
Unfortunately, their death impacted the entire country, and I think that that is powerful, and we have to use that to
yeah,
motivate us to make a change and motivate us to bring light to gun violence on every level. um, and so, there are, GoFundMe's for all three of their families.
yeah,
And I think there might be a couple for a few for maybe I think I saw two for Devin. I'm not sure about Deshaun and Lavelle. I haven't seen of GoFundMe for Mike Collins, but doesn't mean there's not one out there.
yeah,
But in our bio or at the bottom of this, wherever you're listening to, will be the links for all the GoFundMe that I can find. And also want to make sure that we are praying for Marlee, with another injured student on the bus.
yeah,
And I know, during the memorial, they said that she was home and recovering with her family. I also want to pray for, like you said, the other victims on this bus who witnessed three lives be
yeah,
taken, and also feared for their own lives against
yeah.
an attacker. Um,
And
and
those that were trying to help, like,
yeah,
like I, like you guys have some beautiful souls to even to try to help in a situation like that. Like you guys are strong. You guys are the heroes.
yeah,
Like at the end of the day, and so don't let no one ever tell you guys you're not heroes because like it didn't work. You guys are true heroes, and
yeah,
it sucks that you couldn't save them the way you might think, and but you guys did more than enough. You guys were there, and hearing Marlee talk about her telling, Lavel, like we're there,
We're
like
here. You're not
we're
alone.
you're not alone. And so I know she finds peace in that, but I just know it's going to be tough. But that opened my heart and eyes up to a lot more, so that we know at least someone was there for those kids, and it just wasn't left alone and just out there cold, like cold and dry. It was people were there for them, and that I think that's the most important thing we can take away from that, is that they weren't alone and they never were alone, even when they were
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah.
So I think that's very important that we touch on that. And, like you said, the GoFundMe pages will be at the bottom of this episode, um, with everything going on.
Yeah.
But this is not, to us to be like down about it, because I mean we been down all week, and we celebrated the memorial on Saturday, and it's just been
Yeah.
nothing but positive energy. But
Yeah.
this is stuff we got to talk about.
Yeah, we have to. And we're
Yeah,
gonna, hopefully be able to share more memories about them in the future where, like Quinn said, their names
yeah,
will not die. We will continue to honor their lives and honor the men that they were. And I think we've also seen that in the way that the sports world, the Virginia sports community has responded in their game since. We've seen a lot of them have to, pull up their shorts, tie their shoes, and go out and compete in honor of those three men, Devin, Deshaun, and Lavel. And just want to also say that we're keeping our thoughts and our prayers for all the teams that have had to go out and compete after this, because you're going through a whirlwind of emotions. I'm sure you're playing the sport you love, but it also kind of seems like it doesn't matter when situations like this happen. And so also just want to give a shout out to, the women's basketball team, men's basketball team, swimming and diving, track and field, soccer,
yeah,
field hockey,
yeah,
all the teams that are playing right now. Win, lose, or draw, you guys are honoring them with your spirit and with your love for the game, because we all know that they love their sport at the highest level, and you're doing exactly what you can and should be doing. So don't feel guilty about it. Keep your head high. Continue to do things that we do a lot of hard things, but when you do them together, you get closer as a team. So just try to keep that in mind for all the athletes out there who may be going through something difficult. And the last thing I want to say is just reach out to people, reach out to anyone, friends, family, coaches, be connected with your coaches. Don't have them assuming, guessing, what it is that you're feeling, and just be 100. If it's not your day, it's not your day. You guys have a great, especially in Virginia, you guys have a great sports psychologist and Jason Freeman,
yeah.
who take time out of his day. What'd you say?
Doc Freeman.
Yeah. So just use your resources. Students that are there, you may or may not have known these three men. I didn't know them at all, but I know the weight is heavy. So if you don't need, resources, take it. You need not to go to class, take the day.
Yeah,
Because obviously this was a very traumatic incident for everyone, who, especially those who were also, 12 hours of lockdown, trying to find the suspect, murderer. It's like you guys went through something as well. So you just need a hug on each other, love on each other during this time. Um, yeah,
and
last
don't and for us, like we're a resource as well. We
for
may
sure.
not, you know, have a degree in it or anything, but sometimes communication is, the key to everything. But if you just want to say hey and just get a respond back to say hey, and like your day is completely changed, or you like how we post something and that motivated you, like this is what we're here for, and this is why we're doing this podcast. Is like, yeah, and it came at a troubling time, but we're here to share what's going on around grounds, whether of course we happen to be talking about something that's traumatic and bad, but we're here to shine light on the good, to be a resource for any athlete, but not even athlete, anyone that watches the show,
Hmm.
anyone tunes in, anyone that is just, a fan of ours, or, someone we played with, like,
Yeah.
you need
Or
us, like,
against.
or against, like, we're here. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, my phone's always available. Like, I can respond when I can at work. But it's
Yeah.
like I'm here too. Like, I'm human. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not consumed by my job. Like, I'm human. Like, I'm allowed to be human. Like,
Yeah. And I want to say one more thing because I think, being reaching out to people, it doesn't happen overnight, especially like friends. And
yeah,
I want to give an example because this was like something that, I experienced in our regards to like our friendship. It's like when, you know, things might not have been going well, in regards to like football and I don't know, whatever, like you trying to go, you're trying to get to the league our senior year. I would
mhm,
say that personally, I was a little selfish in regards to just like, oh, he's on his grind. Let me let him focus. Let me not reach out to him. But when situations like this happen, like first person I thought of.
yeah. All bets are off the table at this rate.
So it's like that's like we need not to wait like that. Like I
Yeah,
wish I could have, had a little bit more courage to be checking in on you, like,
yeah,
how's your week going? Like what you working on? Like just been more connected, right? Like
yeah.
during those times because like at the end of the day, this is family. This is like love. Like one of the football players said it, like we're not blood, but like anybody looked at me and you and Lee and all of us, Jay, like in college, Zay, BJ when he was there, Kayla when she like literally serious. Like if you looked at all of us, like you saw the other. Like you
Literally all the
you
time.
anytime I see your mom, she like, where Lily at? Like we're always looking out for each other. So I want us to continue to do that. Um, moving forward, for real, for real.
No, yeah, and I think that's the most important thing that we gotta do is just don't wait till it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to have that feeling or guilt like I never got to say my last words to anybody, and I think that's the worst feeling ever. So if you can, just reach out to someone you haven't talked to in a long time, like,
Yeah.
and just like, I mean, yeah, you guys may just, just everyone's grown now. And like, it's
Mm-hmm.
not nothing wrong with, people just growing apart, but just doing their own thing. But it's good to check in with people, just make sure people are okay. Everyone's doing good.
Yeah.
It's no harm in communicating. There's no harm at all.
Yeah.
That's it's just the little things. Like, we got to get back to the little things, and
Yes.
so that way we're not here, when it's a sad situation. Because I mean, a lot of people always say like death always brings everyone back together. Well, we don't have to wait till death. We can do it when it's a good thing, a promotion, or a good news of any sort, or you just want to talk. It's just this is the time to do it now, and go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we appreciate you guys, especially if you made it this long. You've definitely seen or heard whichever way you're tuning in, but seen or heard the emotions and just the process of what it's like for a community after something like this happens. So again, prayers are with the family, teammates, coaches, friends, classmates, the entire UVA community.
Yeah,
And continue praying, y'all. Like God is real.
yeah,
He doesn't make mistakes. And yeah, we'll be back next week. Covering all the things going on grounds, whether it's more memorial services or, games. We'll get back into games next week. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're out.
Walking with a clear route. How we gon' rise today? I'm making mine today.